Hello everyone, welcome back to another art time lapse. Today I am doing the Kimono Panda 3.0. If you've been following me for a while, you know that when I first started painting with gouache, my first piece was of a panda, and it was a panda wearing kimono. So I've been doing a remake of this piece, I think almost every year. Sometimes it's like a panda, sometimes it's a fox. I think this is the third kind of like official time that I'm doing another kimono panda piece. It's kind of like a homage to my roots on where I started, and I just think I like the theme and the idea on it, and I like to kind of watch how I've grown and changed over the years in terms of my style and also my technique. If you like the content on the channel, before I move forward, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It will really mean a lot. Thank you so much for considering, and on with the video. So like I mentioned, I usually do this piece every year. Sometimes I do it for my demonstration for fun, but like I think for official pieces, this is the third version of it. I don't know if I actually did a full recording of some of my previous versions, so this might be the first recorded version I have. So when I first started painting with gouache, and I absolutely had no idea what I was doing, but I loved how pigmented and how beautiful the colors turn out. So I wanted a piece that really accentuates how magnificent the colors are and how opaque and pigmented they are. And that's why I decided to do a kimono piece, because I wanted this panda to have these really bright, vibrant colors and florals on the kimono that the panda's wearing. So the first piece that I did was more of like just a rainbow of colors, and I was so astounded that like it looks gorgeous. And I think over the years, as I've practiced a bit more, I still think that the original piece is beautiful, but I think I've learned more over the years of how to handle gouache a little bit. So this video is probably be a process video of how I paint my kimono pandas, and also like maybe reminiscing over my artist journey over the last few years. I think that in general, I've been more comfortable with like cooler palettes, like my pale blues, maybe my greens, like and this time around I decided to challenge myself and use more vibrant, warmer colors for the piece. So that's why you'll find that it's kind of more red, orange, and yellow theme. I'm trying to kind of put myself in outside my comfort zone. Hopefully I can break through some barriers and maybe learn something new from this piece. I always have an affinity for pandas. I don't know where it started. I originally, I think my first official art piece that I ever sold in public was a panda piece, and it was of a panda sitting in a cafe in Paris. I don't think I ever took a picture of it because I didn't think anyone would ever buy it, but that was the first piece I ever sold, and I was just so in love with it. Too bad I didn't save a picture of the piece. So ever since then, I've had affinity for pandas, because I just think that it's a sign of a good luck, and also like sign of a beginning for me, a new beginning. And also the first day that I actually sold my painting, it was also my first time seeing a real panda in real life. I think I was in San Diego, and I went to the San Diego Zoo and saw a panda in real life for the first time. And I learned that they are very lazy people, or lazy animals, or they're very good at conserving energy. Maybe that's the better way to say it. Anyways, as I'm painting with one hand, I'm just getting a sip of water, enjoying the process. I always like to play with like a music track on the background and a warm cup of water or tea. However, I do need to be very, very cautious, because I have had incidents where I've accidentally dipped my paintbrush in my water cup before. So I'm trying to be more careful about that in the future. So you can see I've added in a lot of warm reds and orange colors and yellows, and now I feel like I need to add some contrast for the piece. Now before adding on the next layer, I know that I do have to let the painting sit for a little bit, maybe at least 5 minutes, to let the previous layer dry before adding on this next set of colors, or else what happened is all the colors will blend into a big mush. That's not what I want. And for one of the tips and tricks that I learned along the way for gouache is that you have to be very patient, and you have to give time for the piece to rest as well. just as a human being needs time to rest and recuperate, and like before going on a new journey and learning new things. I'm trying not to be too philosophical, but like this video is meant for me to reminisce over my artist process, so apologize for that. So I've given some time for the painting to rest. Now I'm kind of adding this aqua green color. I'm not sure if it really goes with the rest of the painting at this point. I just did it because, hey, why not? Let's break outside the box and like throw the whole color wheel out the door and see what happens. But I'm not sure at this point how it will work. And then I decided that it will be nice to videotape this and show you, because I think a lot of people assume that a lot of pieces just naturally come out really nice, and or maybe that's the perception I have, but a lot of paintings go through this ugly phase in the middle. And I know for you, those of you who are artists, you know what I'm talking about, how there is like this ugly phase for your drawing where you're in the middle of it and it just looks horrendous, and you know deep inside that if you push through and continue painting, it's gonna look better. And I think currently this painting is in that ugly phase, and it's just so sad to see. And I know that if I just push through, take my time with it, it will look better, but it's just so disheartening. You know what I mean? So here I'm trying to add some depth to my panda. So I decided to add this green color, since I was trying to find a nice color to blend between the reds and the aqua green. I am not super happy with the piece so far because it's not coming out as dreamy as I like. Partially, I think it's because I didn't have like a solid plan compared to when I usually paint. I like to plan my paintings ahead and know what I'm doing. This one I did a little bit of planning, but not as much as usual. So I guess I don't have as much confidence going into the piece. But I think maybe this choice of green is a right move, because I needed some darker colors in contrast to the diluted reds and orange in the back. Alternatively, I think a cobalt blue would also be nice, but because I'm trying to go outside my comfort zone, I guess green is the next best choice. Does this painting give you a little bit of a Christmas vibe, like red and green, or is it just me? That is not my intention at all. So you can see I focus a lot of my time on the top part of the painting, and I have hardly touched the bottom, so I'll have to get to that at some point. Ideally, I think for paintings, it would be good where you work on all parts of the painting at the same time, so there's a good balance. But I think the eagerness in me wanted to paint my favorite part, which is like the panda, and like the main focus of the painting, which is like the head. That's why I got a little bit greedy, and I decided, what the heck, I'm just gonna paint the part I want. I think all artists has like a favorite part they like, and we generally like to paint that first because we'll make it look good, and then you'll feel more confident about the rest of the piece as you work on it, and you can always look back. It's like, hey, at least this part looks nice. But I think traditionally the best way to go about it is just paint the whole piece evenly from top to bottom, and add layers on evenly throughout the entire painting, rather than just focusing on one part and moving to another. But hey, coming from a background of like not like I was not formally taught, went to like any university or art school, I think you should paint to your heart's content, and what works for you may not work for others, and you will discover along the way what sings to your heart and bring joys to it. So I'm just gonna do my own thing, and I have nothing else to add to it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna continue the rest of this piece. I'll add a little bit darker and lighter colors. Of course, I'm gonna use my Sakura Jelly Roll archival ink to add a bit of details to the piece, but I hope you enjoy the rest of this video and my final product to the piece of this Kimono Panda 3.0. thank you so much for joining me on this artist journey so far, and I'll see you next time in another art time lapse. Take care and stay creative, everyone. Bye for now.